it would not have happened had I not had that real estate crash.
Sure.
And it would
or the dentist wife.
Yes.
Or any of these struggles. All of those struggles were happening for you.
And so we feel like, I totally feel like that this
Or even the cancer.
Yes, all of it.
It was all a gift.
It was all such a gift. I'm so grateful for cancer.
Welcome to the Excellence Project. My name is Eric Worre, and today I have a dear friend and top earner in network marketing, Robin Frank. She's going to talk about her journey, her story, her low points, her victories, her family, lessons learned around building a huge organization with a low ticket product and massive, massive volume. I think you're going to get a lot of lessons from it. So with no further ado, let's jump into my conversation with Robin Frank. Robin Frank.
Hey.
How are you?
Fantastic. Thank you.
So you go by Mama Frank.
I go by Mama Frank.
So how long has Mama Frank been a thing?
Mama Frank has been a thing for, 13 years.
13 years.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. So we're going to have this conversation and talk about your journey, your network marketing journey, lessons learned along the way, what's going on in the world today, how did you deal with pandemic, how are you dealing with after pandemic, how you handle haters, how do you deal with dynamics inside the team, all of these different things. But I want to know kind of your origin story. Tell me where you come from and about your upbringing, and were you always an entrepreneur or what?
I grew up in Salt Lake City area, Utah, and I have, I was the little cheerleader and all that kind of stuff. I always thought I was pretty cute all the time. So, and then grow up and then you become a mom and had 5 kids and was a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
Then I went to work. I worked for a dentist for 14 years, ran his office.
So you're like an office manager?
Office manager. I was the mom of the office.
Okay.
And I love taking charge.
So that's kind of like your energy.
Yes. I get energy from
mom
that.
energy.
Mom energy.
Is like solve all the problems or just manage all the chaos or whatever. Did you do that in the house too?
Yeah, pretty much.
How about growing up? Were you youngest, oldest, middle? What were you?
My family, there was a girl and 2 boys, and then they waited 9 years and had their lovely girl. And then a couple boys came along, so I was kind of blessed that way.
So you were in the middle?
Middle, but really kind of almost the oldest of the second family. So
I see. So a second family thing.
Yeah, kind of.
Got it.
I mean, same dad and mom, but they waited 9 years. So.
Second family inside the same dad and mom. Because there's a lot of second families with different dads and moms.
That's right.
But so kind of like 2 sets of kids.
Yeah.
Growing up.
Correct.
And what was that dynamic like? What did your mom and dad do?
My father was in heating and air conditioning. My mother stayed home.
Okay.
Was a mom, stayed home mom, took care of us. My oldest sister, who was 13 when I was born, she kind of says that she raised me basically.
Sure. You get built-in babysitters when you have
that was
a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
So were you a good student?
Yeah, really good student.
Reasonable good student. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you go to college?
I did.
All right. Where'd you go?
I went to Utah State.
Okay.
And I got my MRS degree.
MRS, what does that mean?
Mrs.
Found
my husband there.
I got it.
Yeah.
You just totally sucked me in like that was a real thing.
It's a new one. You didn't know that.
It is a real thing. I get it. So you met your husband there.
Right.
And did you get married pretty young?
I was 21, 20 and 11/12.
Typical Utah fashion.
Yeah.
That's about the time.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's go. Right. So start building a family.
Right. Waited a couple of years before we had kids.
Yep.
And I was in nursing at Utah State.
Okay.
And quit. And so I decided to go back to nursing a little bit and, never finished.
Right.
It was one of those things where you didn't get accepted to nursing school, but when I was on the waiting list.
Right.
And then when I was finally accepted, I was pregnant and couldn't do that stuff.
So you make this decision, be a stay-at-home mom, which is one of the hardest jobs on planet Earth, to be able to try to manage all of that stuff and probably the least appreciated maybe
Yep.
culturally.
Yeah.
But I was reminded recently, saw some of my grandkids this summer, and that is a young person's game.
I know.
Little ones
I know.
is a young person's game. I mean, I was exhausted just watching them try and manage all this stuff. So you have 5 kids?
5 kids.
5 kids over how many years?
10 years.
Okay, so every couple of years or so, on average. All right. So by your early 30s,
32.
32
Last baby.
is you have your last baby. And how long after the last baby before you decided you wanted to work outside the home?
Like 2 years.
2 years.
Pretty fast.
So how did you manage like daycare and stuff while you were working in the dental office?
My sweet husband was a realtor. And so he is flexible, very flexible. So he was home. Sadly to say, our 12, 13, 14-year-old kind of did a lot of that.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. I was the oldest. I did that too.
Yeah. And, but Tom was there, kind of really watched him and raised him pretty much. And,
Okay.
and,
What was the need in you that said, I've got to go do something outside of this house?
my father was a business owner. So I knew the advantage of owning your own business. I knew we didn't have a lot of money, but we were comfortable and we were struggling. You were paycheck to paycheck. And so
a little
mom
bit of
goes
extra.
to work to help. Yeah.
Yeah. So you wanted to help.
And I found I love working.
But you saw the entrepreneurial example
Correct.
from your father, but you didn't start on an entrepreneurial path.
No, did not.
So
But when I got into the dentistry, I took over. Sorry.
Yeah, no. So if and forgive me if I'm wrong, you took charge,
I did. Correct.
but you're still being paid like an employee.
100%.
Yeah. So there's a lot of people who have entrepreneurial chops.
Yes.
They'll go fix a whole company,
Yes.
and they're getting paid,
Hourly wage.
an hourly wage or some sort of salary, which allows them to get more hours out of them. And because their entrepreneurial spirit is solving problems and fixing things all the time, the employer, the owner, is like, this is great. I need more of these people. People who will go just far enough to give me scale inside of my business, but not so far that they're going to leave and start their own thing.
100%. And the coolest part about my dentist that I worked with was he kept saying, I'll make you partner. You're my partner. You're my partner. You're my partner. And I believe that 100%. But when it really comes down to it, it was his business. And he was the dentist. And if he wasn't there, it wasn't mine.
Right. So you do that for how long?
16 years.
16 years. If I could ask, what was your salary year 1 and what was your salary after year 16?
Oh my gosh. Year 1, of course, this was a long time ago.
I understand. I get it.
I think I was making $880 a month.
And the last year?
The last year I was about $60,000 a year.
So you
what
went,
is that? I don't know.
60,000 a year?
60,000.
So that's
So
about
$5,000.
$30 an hour,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
So about $30 an hour.
He took good care of me for that, but
yeah,
I was still an employee.
Yeah. Well, what does take good care mean? Saying thank you?
Yeah. Yeah. Led me to believe it was mine and I could do whatever I want.
Sure.
I had a lot of openness.
Sure.
Yeah.
So it's funny, this whole thing. I mean, employment is necessary in some.
It's security.
Is it? I don't know if it is.
Well, you base your budget on making this amount and you know what's
maybe
coming.
Maybe it's predictable in the short term. Maybe it's mentally secure. But ask somebody in the workplace right now if they feel secure
That's true.
in their job. I don't know if they're going to say yes.
Well,
because, look, here's what happens inside a company. So somebody goes to work for a company and they get typically a 3 to 5% raise a year, something like that. And eventually they age to a point where the company can get rid of them and have somebody else do that function for half the price and start the cycle over. which happens over and over and over and over and over inside of workplace environments. Somebody like yourself that's solving big problems, you have a little bit more security because they just don't want to train somebody else to do all the stuff that you do. You probably did three people's jobs, right?
Correct. Yeah. However, he got married. And the mom of the office was no more.
What does that mean?
That means I wasn't in the business.
No, did she come in and wanted to be the boss?
So my job
So is
was
that
gone.
the thing that finally kicked you out?
Yes.
Well, thank God for her.
Yes.
But
it was a disaster at the time.
I understand it was a disaster. Most people who are dealing with work trauma right now, they do not realize it is happening for them, not to them.
I agree.
It is an absolute gift, no matter how ugly it feels at the moment. Because God forbid she didn't come in.
Yeah, I would still be there, probably.
You'd probably still be there. Millions of people wouldn't be affected in a positive way because of you. I don't know if it's millions, but tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people that you connected with since you started your network marketing journey. So thank God, because you were getting bought at 5 cents on the dollar. So I don't want to get into income claims or any of that kind of stuff, but you finished there at $30 an hour. And you're currently at over $500 an hour in your network marketing business. And you're in rare air. You're one of the, super high level elite, blessed, but you earned it.
Yes.
You earned it. You just found a better place to solve problems.
Right.
You were solving problems at a world-class level for 60 grand a year. You just found a better place to solve problems here.
Right.
So interesting, right? 16 years, never owned it. You go from, pennies to $30 an hour at the peak.
Right.
Being taken care of, quote unquote, but being taken care of was really just being thanked.
Correct.
And then mama came in, the other mama, the dentist's wife, and said, this is not going to work anymore. I'm the mama. And you went, So did you quit? You get fired? What happened?
It was kind of a mutual agreement.
But what really happened? I mean, a lot of people say mutual. Did you just say, nah, I'm out of here? Or did she say she's got to go? Or did he say what?
Oh, she said she's got to go. But
really,
my dentist was lovely and he stuck up for me.
Was she kind of threatened by you or something?
Oh, 100%.
As far as I
was the wife with no sex.
Got it. The work wife.
Yeah.
Work wife.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she was threatened by the relationship you had with him as in a working environment, even though it wasn't a romantic relationship. It was just a support relationship. He counted on you. Right. Totally get that. Happens a lot.
All the time.
All the time. So, all right. So you find your way out of there. And then what happens?
Well, my husband was a realtor.
Okay.
So we thought we can flip homes. We love that. We buy that house that, was beat
Needs some
up.
work.
Yeah. We changed the carpet. It was beautiful. We even got most beautiful house on the block award one time. So that was great.
Yeah.
We did that for several years. And then 2008, 2009.
So you were flipping houses. And again, I always like looking for repeating patterns, right? So repeating pattern one is you'd have probably stayed
100%
in the dentist place. If it wasn't for some external circumstance, if God didn't look down and say, this is not serving her, I need to create some drama so she gets out of here or she'll stay forever.
Yeah.
And then you start flipping houses and you're probably making some decent money doing that.
Excellent money.
Making decent money.
Yeah.
You got the commissions on the real estate side. You're solving problems in there. You're cutest house on the block, which I can tell you're still proud of. These different things. That's all going. And then God says, nope.
Yeah.
She's still underperforming to her potential. So let me throw an economic crisis, 2008, 2009 at her, which at the time was probably traumatic.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
What were you guys thinking when this all happens? Because it had to be like the golden years for,
yeah. I was in my 50s, thought we were going to retire here. This was great.
Yeah.
We were traveling. Everything was wonderful. And,
What was the conversation with you and your husband when the economic crisis hit?
Well, it wasn't just one time. I mean, it gradually hit.
2008 was just the beginning rumblings.
Right.
2009, it got kind of ugly, right?
And I tell you, it's really a feeling. One day you're standing there at your house and your husband's outside mowing the lawn, and a car drives up. Our neighbors drive up and start talking to him, and pretty soon this police car comes in the driveway. And I look out the window, I see the police car, I see Tom, I see him talking to the neighbors, and I'm like, oh crap. Tom, just go talk to him. Well, the neighbors are saying, oh my heck, what's going on? You better go see. And Tom's like, nah, Robin can handle it. It's fine.
So what was the deal?
That policeman walked up to the front door,
Yeah.
rang the doorbell, and I looked out the window and I'm like, please, Tom, just stop him. Rang the doorbell again. I answered the door and he said, are you Robin Frank? Here's your papers.
And what were the papers?
Foreclosures.
So on the houses that you owned at the time, he's still emotional now. Why is it still emotional now? Is the best thing that ever happened to you?
It was, but here I am. My neighbors are watching me.
So it's embarrassing.
The big loser. And oh my gosh.
It's okay. I got Kleenex
It's
somewhere.
okay. We'll wait.
Here, no, we got some.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm telling you, it hits your soul.
Yeah.
And
So
we tend to base our self-esteem on our worth on the money we make.
or the opinions of the people around us.
Yes.
And the people around you were like whispering, "Oh, nope, they're in trouble. They're in trouble. They're in trouble. They're in trouble."
And I could just hear the conversation out there because, you hide it. You don't want anybody to know.
Sure.
And I could hear the conversation out there. What's going on? And Tom had to say, well, we're losing something.
Yeah. So was it your own home or was it another home that you were
No,
flipping?
we had 7 properties we were flipping that we lost. So
You lost all 7. Boom, 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 boom. Wow. Somebody walked in and bought them for a song, I'm sure.
one house we bought on a golf course, we bought it for $450,000. We put $150,000 into it. Went foreclosure for $225,000.
$225,000. What's it worth today?
Oh, probably $1.5 million, maybe 2, probably. Yeah.
1.5, 2 million.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've had that same story.
Yeah.
I mean, 2001, I'm like pinching myself. Life is perfect.
Yes.
I'm building a $4 million dream house. It's half built. I'm driving in my golf cart on Halloween, driving the kids from house to house. And I got $7 or $8 million worth of stock. I'm making $1 million a year. This is 20 some years ago.
Wow.
In 90 days, it was all gone. Oh. The whole portfolio.
It sucks.
The house is in foreclosure. We ended up selling it out of foreclosure. Income gone. Everything. And why that all happened is a different story. But best thing
Ever happened to you?
that could have ever happened. If I could go back in time, I would not change one piece of it. Even though at the time I felt like I couldn't breathe really.
Right. Right.
Like my breathing was shallow. It was hard to take a deep breath.
Did you gain weight?
I'm not sure if I gained weight, but I sure gained a lot of stress. I didn't have a lot of sleep. I got shingles as kind of a stress reaction, which is a very painful thing to get.
Horrible.
The worst part of all of that was the nights.
Yes.
Did I ever tell you about my little coping mechanism of how I dealt with drama like that?
No.
Okay, I'll tell you. Everything in my life got shut down, legal and everything in 1,000 directions. It was like career Armageddon. Okay, like what is happening? I get audited by IRS in the same exact period of time. Oh. I mean, all different kinds of stuff that's happening. So I was so triggered by the phone ringing.
Yes.
Because there was no caller ID.
Yes.
So I couldn't filter somebody yelling at me versus somebody encouraging me. I couldn't see who was calling me. And then The mail was also another PTSD. I still can't look at mail because, the different colored notifications, and then you get certified mail.
Yeah.
All of that stuff.
The policeman drives in your driveway.
Oh my gosh, freak me out. Everybody talking about everything. So I did two things. One is I decided to only think about my problems 3 hours a week from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. every Monday. I opened every piece of mail and I looked at it. I called every creditor directly. Okay, I called them up, got them on the phone, told them what I could or couldn't do. They yelled and screamed and yelled and screamed. I'm going to do this. You do what you want to do. I'm not going anywhere. If you push harder, I'll probably have to file bankruptcy. I don't want to. I want to be able to pay you. I plan on being able to pay you. So do your best. I'm calling you. How many clients are calling you?
Good.
They said no, none, zero. Okay, so I'll call you next week and I'll give you an update. This week I got $200 or whatever. Okay, so I called everybody. And then when 1 o'clock came, I closed it all up. I put it aside and I went to work. I did what I could control. And after like 3-4 weeks, I was like in good relationships, basically, with everybody from credit card people to attorneys to IRS to Minnesota state tax, everything. And they're like, you don't need to call. Just shoot us a note every once in a while, give us an update.
Cool.
Now I can breathe, right? That was my coping mechanism to get through that particular season that worked for me. Either it's going to consume 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, or it's going to consume those 3 hours. It's going to suck. It's going to be terrible. It's going to be ugly. I'm going to put on those muddy, dirty clothes and I'm going to go through it and I'm going to face it and I'm going to call everybody. I'm not going to avoid it. I'm not going to hide. And then the rest of the week, and then I told all of them, the rest of the week I'm going to work so I can get back to you with a better number. So let me work. Do what you will, but let me work. So that worked for me. Good. So this situation's happening to you, and it does make you question, like I worked my whole life for all of this, and what's it all about? The other thing I did is I don't think I've ever shared this. We're in a little country club, okay, and in a little country club neighborhood, everybody knows everything. Everybody knows who's sleeping with everybody. Everybody knows what if you changed your couch in your living room. Everybody knows everything. So I just went up to the clubhouse right in the middle of it and just told every single person my story. Here's what's going on. Don't bet against me. You'll be wrong. I'll be back. It's fine. But right now it's pretty shitty, but enjoy your drink, enjoy your dinner. And I just basically faced it, looked them all in the eye. And instead of feeling like I was going to be intimidated by all the whispers, right?
Well, that was it.
Yeah.
Now our neighbors knew.
Yeah.
After that police car came in, and I thought I was going to die. I did.
So were you able to keep your house or no?
We kept our house.
Okay. But you lost the 7. Mm-hmm. Okay. Did you have to file?
I did.
Okay.
Filed bankruptcy.
No fun.
And then you feel like
starting over.
Yeah, your self-esteem goes down the drain.
Yeah.
And we had no money to eat, nothing. You know that feeling. Yeah. It was like we had nothing.
Right.
So one day, my daughter Brittany hauls me to a little trade show, What a Woman Wants. And we went in there and we found this $5 jewelry. And I'm like, so who cares?
This is like what, 2000 what?
2010.
2010. So you're in the middle of the pit of despair.
Right.
And you're just surviving, finding ways.
Barely.
I got encouragement from a couple different kind of unexpected sources. One was a guy I knew kind of casually in the neighborhood. He just called and said, hey, I'm hearing things are rough, and I just want you to know we're thinking about you. That was nice. And then another guy who was like very influential guy in the neighborhood, he said, people like you, I never count them out because you'll always find a way. I was like, that was nice of him to say.
Yeah.
He didn't have to say that, but I borrowed it.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah,
That's cool.
Can't count me down. He said, yeah, you're like those real estate development guys. They'll boom and bust, but don't bet against them because they're gonna find a way to creatively come up with a solution, right?
Yeah.
So during these couple years, is your husband still trying to do real estate at the same time or what?
Yeah, I was
doing
helping
short
him.
selling.
Yeah,
and
that's
stuff
what
like
we were
that?
doing, short selling and trying to stay on top of it a little bit and
Just surviving, keeping the wolves away from the door.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Probably a little bit behind on bills and stuff, but just managing because your credit's wrecked anyway.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like going through it.
Yeah. And you
Right.
have no credit cards anymore.
Right.
You have nothing.
Right.
And so it's just like penny to penny every day.
It's crazy. This is like 20 years ago. So when I came out of that, I had started another company, a traditional company around personal development, like a cable channel, like Discovery Channel. And which we ended up raising $10 million, last of my money, all that stuff, and it didn't work, right? So I went back to network marketing and quickly rebuilt. But at the beginning, I was at the bottom of the bottom of the bottom of the bottom. And in order to travel, I had to use my mom's American Express card. Grown man, using my mom's American Express card. Say don't worry, I'm gonna pay this back in order to be able to book a hotel room because I couldn't rent a car, couldn't book a hotel room, none of that stuff. Zero.
Yeah.
In order to be able to do it. So
I know that feeling.
that's 20 years ago.
I know.
You
still feel it a little bit, don't you? Do you?
I don't feel bad about it
Right.
anymore. I'm not ashamed of it.
Best thing that ever happened to you.
I'm super grateful for it for a couple different reasons. One is it led me to where I am today, which is where I'm supposed to be. Two is I got stronger from that experience. I kind of don't trust somebody who hasn't had some sort of Armageddon happen. They just don't know. I mean, they haven't been through difficulty. Yeah. And because of that, they don't have a certain level of wisdom. Everything they've always touched is turned to gold.
Yeah.
Okay, don't stand too close because something's going to happen at some point.
Might catch on
and
fire.
they're not going to see it, coming. Now I see it coming.
Yeah.
My awareness is up a different level. So anyway, I quickly got inside of network marketing back to 7 figures and, rebuilt my life. When you find out when you're in that deep of a hole,
there's nothing but up.
Well, yes, there's nothing but up, but there's also digging out of a hole is harder.
Yeah.
Because I owed $1.2 million to the IRS. Okay. That you can't bankrupt. So I had to earn double that to pay the taxes between Minnesota State and federal just to pay that original amount.
Oh my God.
See what I mean? So it's not just the bill, it's double the bill. You got to do it with after-tax money.
Oh.
You know what I mean? So anyway, all of that made me stronger. All of that's a rounding error today. All of that doesn't really matter. So 2010, you're at the bottom of the bottom. You're kind of wandering through. And who is it that brought you this trade show?
My daughter, Brittany.
Your daughter?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, who's sitting here
Who's sitting
in the
here,
studio
yeah.
while we're having this conversation?
Yeah.
So Brittany brings you this trade show.
Mm-hmm.
And you see,
We went into this booth that was $5 and
the stuff looked nice.
yeah, it was cool, but I can't eat. So I'm not buying a necklace.
Oh yeah. So
I didn't have money to eat.
Yeah,
I had
yeah,
no
yeah.
extra money. You didn't do anything. And the lady in the booth, she said, "Oh, you look like you need something really cute." And I'm like, "Yeah, don't bug me." And she gave me this headband, and I should have brought it, sorry, with the big foo-foo on, the little girl headband. They were selling these. And she said, "Put this on, it'd be really cute." And I'm like, I'm in my 50s,
right.
Right. I don't want to do this. Don't do this. And she said, "If you put this on and walk through here, if nobody says anything, bring it back. You don't have to buy it. But if somebody does, you buy it." And Brittany's like, yeah, do it, Mom. So I put this headband on with this foo-foo and I go through this trade show. And sure enough, somebody said, "Oh, you look so cute today." And I really think they're saying, "What's that old woman doing wearing that?"
Right.
Because at 50, you think you're pretty old at that time. And So I went back and I said, okay. And I bought a necklace and a headband, a pair of earrings, and I left. And that was a Saturday.
Okay.
Went to church the next day.
Okay.
See, there it goes again. 3 people said to me, Robin, you look so cute today. And someone even said, wow, have you lost weight or something?
Mm.
Well, it's the flu on my head, you know?
Your favorite foo-foo.
Yes, and I mean, I'm not kidding. It looked.
I need to see a picture of this foo-foo.
Oh,
Is it famous? Is it famous
I
inside
wore
of
one
your...
every day after that.
Oh, my gosh.
Every day. We sold headbands, and I sold a heck of a lot of headbands. And
so wait a minute. So you get the compliment on Sunday.
Correct.
Which makes you emotional even to today. So when did you make the business connection here?
Well,
was it you? Was it your daughter?
When we were in there, we got their business card.
Okay.
So Monday morning.
But did you know that there was a business attached or
there wasn't. It wasn't even a direct sales company. It was just a trade show booth.
Oh.
And when we were at the trade show, we stood back and watched all these little pink bags walking out of that booth. And I thought, I can sell $5 jewelry. I can't sell $50 jewelry.
Yeah. You could have, but your belief system at the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I was a loser, I thought. And I thought, I can sell $5 jewelry because that's something my level could do. So we called him the next day, Monday morning, and we get in the car and drive 4 hours to St. George. And the cute girl there, her name is Misty.
This is on a Monday now, right?
Monday.
Okay.
And we go in and she says, well, if you want to do trade shows, and again, this wasn't a company yet. It was in September and
You could buy it wholesale, sell it retail.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
We bought it for $2.75. We could sell it for $5. She gave me pictures of how to display. And she went to the back herself and pulled all the stuff, brought these boxes out and said, that's $3,000.
So you had like 1,500 pieces of stuff.
And I was sick. And so
were you and your daughter going to do this together at the time?
Yes, we worked together doing it.
Okay. You do it still to today?
Today.
Okay. Do you have separate distributorships or the same?
We do.
Or separate?
Separate distributorships.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're working as a family.
Yeah, we work as a family. Yeah.
So how'd you figure out $3,000?
So I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have a credit card. And so we're in the back going, oh my gosh, what do we do? You know, what do we do? So we make a phone call, borrow a credit card from a family member. And see, that still makes me sad. Put these boxes in the car. And the girl that was helping us, Misty Kirby, she's the founder of Paparazzi now. But at the time, she was just a cute girl in St. George packaging up jewelry for us. Put in the car and drove home. And I'm telling you.
And is she now the owner of the company? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How fun is that?
I just wanted to pull over and throw up.
Why?
Seller remorse, you know.
Buyer's remorse, you mean?
Buyer's remorse, yeah. Seller's remorse, who knows?
Who was the one that gave you the credit card?
Brittany's husband.
So he's got like gold star.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still kind of, you're embarrassing. You're going to your daughter's husband.
And it's one thing for me to go through the financial, but now I'm dragging my kids.
Yeah.
And what if it doesn't work? And I've never done, this was just trade show booths.
Right.
So we went home and my whole goal was to go home and not throw up. But
what was your husband thinking about this whole process?
He didn't know until we drove in the driveway. And he said, okay, you just better sell it. I mean, he was really supportive. He never criticized, but we gave him these pictures and he made these pegboards, you know, and so Brittany gets on the computer and she finds this, it was Monday, she finds this 5K race at Thanksgiving Point on Saturday, women's 5K race.
Perfect.
So we call, we get a booth, we show up.
How much the booth cost?
Probably $60, $50.
All right.
And I didn't know anything about trade shows. I knew you show up and we had this whole spread with $5 and they said, oh, you only get 10 feet. And I'm already set up, you know, and we went there and these women came in and they saw this $5 sign and they said, holy cow, this is really cool. But we're running a race. We don't have any money. So I said, well, I got an idea. I got these little pink bags. Let's write your name on it. You get the first selection. put your jewelry in it. We had all these little pink bags stacked up
For after the race.
For after the race. Come back and you buy it.
That's a nice problem-solving situation. Some people would have just like, oh, I guess this wasn't a good idea, and they'd be done.
I had no choice.
Right. Isn't it interesting what happens when you have no choice?
Yes.
Yeah. It's a good place. If any of you are out there listening or watching and you're in a place where you have no choice, be grateful. Because it will cause you to do things that you normally wouldn't do. Having too many choices a lot of times will cause people to be apathetic. Yeah. So you didn't have a choice. So
we prayed.
And you stack up these little pink bags.
And we prayed they'd come back. I mean, what if they just go home?
Yeah. But you had them mentally kind of connected to their bag.
Yeah.
All right. So what happens?
Every single one came back.
And?
Bought.
So how much did you sell that day?
11 o'clock. We all packed up. We sat in the car, counted our money. $1,127.
Okay. So you did like what?
$500-600.
25% of your inventory gone. Right?
Yeah.
Like that?
Yeah, that's right.
About 25% in the first day.
The first day.
Okay. And then, so tell me how this progresses.
So I went home, called my son-in-law and said, can I just pay you the $50, the minimum charge, but I promise next month I'll pay it all off. I promise. And we dumped every penny into more jewelry and we did everything we could. And the best part, like you said, if you have to, is we found every single trade show, we would go
anywhere you could set up.
Everywhere. The bank, the doctor's office, home parties.
How many were you doing a week?
We were doing 3 a day sometimes.
3 a day?
Yeah.
Little pop-ups.
Yeah, little stuff. Or big stuff. We did great big Christmas shows. We did everything we could. And by December,
what was your starting month?
September 26th, 2010.
September 26th was like the Monday? The Monday after the Saturday thing? Mm-hmm. The trade show, the first trade show you visited.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And then you call and then you go visit on Monday. That's September 26th. Okay. So October, November, December, what happens?
December, I paid my house payment, Brittany's house payment, my car payment, and all of my Christmas and Brittany's Christmas with profits.
About how much profit was that in December?
Oh, I bet it was like $5,000 or $6,000 at least. Profit.
So $5,000 or $6,000 profit after 3 months, all direct selling.
All direct selling.
You just in trade shows, hustle. Mm-hmm. Setting up, selling, learning, adapting, adjusting. You got your bags, you got your display. You find out what works, find out what's hot. What do you put in front? What do you put in back?
That's right.
Right? Were you guys both doing it together?
Yes.
Every one of these things?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Sometimes she'd go, one time we had a belly dancing and a gun show. Tom went to belly dancing. I went to the gun show because, I can sell more to guys and he can sell more to girls and it works.
Oh, funny.
That's what we did for the first.
So your husband's like all in, fully supportive by 90 days later?
Yeah.
He's like, go, baby,
he was
go.
from day one. He would come and help
I know
us.
supportive, but I really excited.
Yeah.
It's not, you better sell this. It's like, keep going, baby.
Yeah.
Go.
Wonderful. And of course, I never got a credit card, so we just kept using the credit card and buying more and selling and buying more and selling. And then in January, they came to us and said, we're going to be a direct sales company, a multi-level.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm not doing that. Never done that before. Not doing that. I'm just selling jewelry. I like this. I can do this.
Right.
I don't know how to.
So you didn't see the leverage piece of it. It was scary.
Had nothing. I had no idea.
You knew what was working.
I knew what was working. Don't change it.
Okay.
So
how did they convince you?
They just said,
somebody's got to sign up. You might as well.
Yeah. They said, you got to, or
you don't have to build. You don't have to build a business.
Right. Just sell. This is how it's going to work.
Okay.
And so in Paparazzi, I'm number 28 and Brittany's number 29.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you have 5 kids, right?
5 kids.
And Brittany, what is Brittany in the age in the order?
I had 3 boys, a girl, and then another boy.
Okay.
So my last 2 are still working with us, or working with me now. The first 3 have gone on and done their own thing.
They went and did other stuff. Okay, but these guys are building the business.
Yeah.
All right, fantastic. So I understand.
Yeah.
So they open up network marketing, which is something you don't know anything about. But you are kind of still, Mama Frank, right? When it comes to anybody that comes in your orbit, you kind of adopt them. Mm-hmm. Like my mom does the same thing. Well, she kind of adopts anybody that that comes into her orbit, and my mom and dad are kind of unofficial godparents to a lot of people in network marketing, just from the spirit of it.
Yeah.
So who saw the network marketing potential first, you or Brittany?
Golly, I don't know. I think it was just both
Brittany
of us.
says her.
Her, maybe.
Yeah. So
Probably, because I just wanted to sell jewelry.
Coach says, so you leaned on mom and said, well, come on, mom, we can get some leverage here.
Yeah.
All right. So how long did it take before you started to build a team?
Well, the next day, really. We didn't try. I never tried to build a team. It was people would come in and say, "Oh, $5, I can do that. Oh, here's how you do it. Here's how you do it. Here's the picture. I'll give you take a picture of the boards. That's what we did. Here's how you can buy it. Here's how you buy
at the
it."
time, you were telling them you could set up in trade shows, and
Yes.
you could set up in trade
Yes.
shows, and you could set up in trade shows.
Yes.
So as people who are, not a derogatory term, but peddlers.
Correct.
They're peddling products.
That's what we were.
Yeah, you're peddling, and you're teaching them how to peddle. But it was profitable.
It was very
If you're active and out there, you can make good money.
right.
You make $500 in a day. You can make $300 in a day, whatever.
I remember that was January. I remember in May I got my first $800 check, and I thought, "Oh my gosh,
I got some money from something
yes,
I didn't do. Yeah.
yes,
I did something. I connected some people,
Correct.
but they did the sales.
that's right." And I never, ever, ever said, "Hey, come and do this with me." Ever. It was at that time. This was all about. This is what we do. Sure, if you want to, I can show you how.
I'll show you how. Yeah. Like my dad sold used books on Amazon. Like he'll go get books from Goodwill and then he'll clean them up and then he'll list them on Amazon and sell them. He's probably taught 200 people how to do that. Doesn't make any commission on it. He just does it out of goodness of his heart, and they're out there making their $500 to $1,000 a week doing that part-time. So you were kind of doing the same thing. And so when did it pivot for you that this can be bigger than trade shows? This can be a little bit more direct. Did it pivot into home parties? Or,
it was the first. It was home parties. Home parties, trade shows. We did it all.
Trade shows, and then home parties.
Sales.
And then home parties became a big thing.
Yes.
Big part of the culture. And then eventually, when did social media enter the arena?
I was trying to think of that. What year did that start? It came in, and the
people were having success with it.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm not doing that. I like to sell in person.
So, and is your initial response to anything new? I'm not doing that.
Probably.
I'm not doing that.
Let me just do what works. It works.
I'm not doing that thing
because we did all that other stuff and it crashed. So I don't want to be crashing again.
Right? No,
don't press
PTSD on the crash. So people are having success. Your team is growing. How long before the income from the sales of your team surpassed the income of your personal sales?
Pretty soon. It was probably 2 years, maybe a year and a half.
A year and a half, 2 years later.
Yeah. I was making good money selling. Good money selling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're making good money selling. You're out there hustling. You're doing your thing. But within a couple of years, you're starting to make more from the team sales than you are from your own personal direct sales.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And I remember in 2011, I hit a rank. Because we work together a lot, but I hit a rank that was really like one of the top ranks that anybody had hit. And Brittany's pregnant with twins. And she just didn't feel good. She kept having these pains, and it was Thanksgiving time, and she kept having pains, and she went to the doctor, and they ended up putting her in the hospital. And 3 days later, she gave birth to 2 pound 1 ounce and 2 pound 6 ounce baby boys, 25 weeks.
Wow.
She has twins. So the nicest part about having a team was she couldn't go to trade shows with me.
Sure.
And
you had a little bit, you'd earned a little bit of time freedom.
Right.
And financial freedom.
She had a 2-year-old already. And now her babies are in the hospital for 3.5 months.
Wow.
And so that allowed her to just take time and do what she needed to do. We kind of just did, but building the team still brought us money that we could survive on. Sure, we cut down home parties and all, we
Sure.
did what we had on the books, but we didn't promote a whole lot more because I'm the grandma. And what if those babies died? And,
Yeah.
and so that was the hiccup.
How are the babies doing now?
They're 11, 30, 11. They'll be 12 years old and they are perfect.
Great.
Yeah.
Boys, girls?
2 boys.
2 boys. Oh,
Yeah.
fun.
Identical.
Identical?
Twins. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So cute.
Yeah. I keep telling my kids to have twins and just, speed up the process.
Well, that's Robbie.
They're like, hey, slow down.
Yeah.
So
then,
all right. So you go through this, you have this, the ability to have some time with family when you needed it, which is a huge benefit. I mean,
big.
there's a dear friend of mine and part of your organization, Carla Pierce, who went through a pretty bad cancer scare, and had to take care of that process and was able to do it, afford it, and the income stayed in there, hung in there. That's pretty rare.
Well, I don't know if you know this about me. The reason why Carla and I are so connected is because in November of 2013, I was in Denver, Colorado, selling at a trade show and my back hurt really, really bad. Went home, put in the hospital Wednesday, and Friday I was diagnosed with multiple myeloma bone cancer.
I did not know this story.
So here we are, just doing well, and the babies are doing okay. And now, I mean, God keeps saying, you haven't learned your lesson yet. Come on, get it.
What was the lesson?
The lesson is you got to be grateful and love people around. That's what I believe. And I love your life. I've talked about that. They made this bracelet that I wear all the time, every single day. It says love life. So
you get diagnosed in 2013, 10 years ago.
And went through chemo, went through a grueling stem cell transplant, lost my hair. They gave me 2 to 5 years to live. I had 22 holes in my back because bone cancer eats your bones, doesn't grow a tumor. And I was on lots of morphine, didn't drive a car for a year, and went to convention in August, 1st of August, to say goodbye.
Really? That was your emotional state?
Lost 67 pounds, and I couldn't even stand up. I mean, really, I was so drugged that I just was there and I was dying. So went to convention because all these sweet people in our organization had prayed for me better and had just loved me and sent me messages and gifts. And so I got up on stage and we always give a convention gift. So I gave away pink wigs. And because I was embarrassed again, that feeling sometimes doesn't leave you. And even though I knew everybody loved me.
You felt like you were letting them down by being sick?
Maybe. Yeah. So.
The mama in you. Got it. Mom guilt has lots of forms.
Yeah. So went out on stage and I pulled my wig off and threw it out in the audience and we all stood and cried and I went home and I decided, I said a prayer to Heavenly Father and I said, I'm dying. I'm a burden on my family. I can't do anything. Just take me. And 2 weeks later, I was still alive. So chemo gave me C. diff, which is horrific diarrhea. And that sucked. Want to know what it's like in Costco with your cart full of groceries and
can't imagine.
And I always took a sweater with me no matter where it was because I'd wrap it around my waist and walk out of the store. And that was, again, back to the self-esteem thing. So
you said, God, take me, and God said, you're not done.
Yeah. So I went totally cold turkey off my morphine, 17 days of drug withdrawal. Went off my...
What caused this decision? Like 2 weeks later, you're still alive. Was there some point where you just said, okay?
Because I couldn't
I couldn't. There must be a purpose for this.
Yes. And I thought, if I only have 2 years to live, I'm going to live it. I'm going to live every minute of it.
Okay.
And that's the whole thing. I love my life. For 2 years, that's all I got.
Okay.
So I'm not going to be drugged.
Right.
I went off all my 24 months of chemo. I had 3, quit that. And that was 10 years ago.
So what happened?
Heavenly Father blessed me.
Hmm.
And I learned that I just need to love everybody. And I feel like that's my mission. Oh, I'm such a crybaby.
So here, let me ask you a question. I know family can be sometimes a motivation to fight for life. Sometimes it can be a motivation to let go of life because you're being a burden to them. How much of your team was a motivation that you didn't want to let them down? You didn't want to say goodbye to them?
Oh, lots. I mean, I just can't tell you how many people prayed for me and loved me and my family. I mean, they were with me. I was in the
So
hospital.
you didn't want to let them down with their
Yes.
prayers?
Yes. And they'd send me text messages and gifts and all this stuff. And
People are being kind. Yeah. It's part of our business that people don't really understand, the sense of community that you can build.
Yes.
And there's always weird stuff that happens inside of any community, any small town. But every company's its own small town. Every company kind of gets to know each other. And the good people find each other, and the supportive people support each other, and nasty people find their own corner to hang out in. And but there's a sense of community that was a little bit lost. In previous generations, there was a lot of community in small town. There's a lot of community in small town commerce. There's a lot of community in church, educational environments, clubs, those different types of things. And a lot of that kind of got stripped away. Walmart came into town, and all the little community of the small stores went away. And but the sense of community that's built here, and everybody is encouraging each other.
That's what
for the
I
most
love.
part.
I love it.
Yeah, everybody wants it. It's people outside of network marketing just don't really understand. They're going to a job where people are tolerating them, and they just kind of talking behind their back, and there's all kinds of gossip and nastiness and trying to one up the next person to get the promotion and chop their legs out and all these different types of things. And here it's all, everybody really, for the most part, wants to see everybody else do well.
Yes. And that's what I love about GoPro, about all that you do, because we do the 90-day recruiting run, and then we pass that on to our team.
Mm-hmm.
And we do, even though we pay the money, there's so many people that can learn from it.
Sure.
And I thank you for all your training to us, because
my great pleasure. I do it for the same reason you do.
yes. And the money's great, and the jewelry makes you feel great, but my whole love is just all those sweet people.
Yeah. The connection to people.
Yeah.
So give me some of the lessons that you've learned. Now you're 7-figure earner, $1 million Hall of Fame, getting to legendary status inside of our little profession, which is pretty cool. So that might be, I know you might resist that term, but
A little bit.
what are some of the lessons that you've learned over the last 10 years?
I learned that it doesn't matter what you do. If you have a job, if you do direct sales, if you are, whatever you do, you need to love who you are. And the best part that I love about it is when you have network marketing, there's so many people there that, I mean, you can't go to convention without hugging everybody 100 times. And you know that whenever you get together, it's all, and we don't have that, especially after COVID. We stay in our houses and close our doors and look at social media that's sometimes. And I believe we just need to get together and just love each other.
So the lessons that I've heard is, one is the value of community, of loving each other. Talk about what you've built a huge team. In addition to having a great product that you enjoy and a great company that supports you, which hopefully everybody listening to this has those things. what lessons did you learn in terms of building, in terms of building scale? Because your organization has grown to how many? Since you
over
started?
450,000 since we started.
450,000 people have started at some point. It's a big group.
Big.
Yeah.
Hard.
And one is building a team like that. And two is building leaders within a team like that. What are some of the lessons you've learned around that tactically and kind of emotionally helping to grow leaders and grow team?
I truly believe that if you keep, I love the connections, being in touch, because there's so much out there. I mean, I can teach him, make a phone call and do this and sell this and do this. But I think that believing in them and teaching them to love the people underneath them, to call them on the phone, send them a text message. And in there, I love the assignments. We've learned that every single time you talk to somebody, give them an assignment, because they kind of know what to do, but I don't know.
Push.
Yes. Just that little connection, because the more you let people know that they're important, they'll cross oceans for you.
What's some of the biggest mistakes that you've made in the last 10 years while growing your team that you had to learn from?
Oh my gosh. So many. Again, back to that, not encouraging them enough. Nobody taught me. So why can't they learn just like me?
Right.
If you want it, do it. It's there. You can do it.
Many of them didn't have the gift of desperation that you had.
I was blessed.
One of the big lies, I think, is that's being repeated by all the billionaires and the super famous rich people. It's not true. Okay, it's a lie that they're all telling. Only do what you love.
Yeah.
Only do what you love, and your life is going to be great. That's the biggest pile of nonsense ever. Nobody that has done anything great only focuses on what they love.
Yeah.
They love the process. They love the people. They love the results. So they'll do the gritty thing. You can't tell me you were loving doing trade shows at a gun show.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
I loved connection with the people, but setting up, taking down, standing on your feet.
Taking time away from.
Yes.
Yeah. Your feet being tired, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. The mistakes are lack of connection.
Right.
The lessons are more connection.
Yeah. Well,
and pouring your belief into somebody else.
Yes. Because we had so many people, we didn't know. They just signed up. We didn't talk to them. We didn't do anything, and they fall away because they can't do what we do to our scale unless somebody helps them.
Right.
And you just need to connect with them, give them a little couple of ideas, and then they can go. But they just need to know. Another lesson is they just need to know that they're important.
Yeah.
And another lesson, I think, was that I didn't realize network marketing, and I didn't spend more time on helping them, teaching them, encouraging them. I spent more time on, you got to sell, you got to sell, you got to sell. And because our product is you buy it for $275 and you sell it for $5. It's not, come into the company and get it. So it was good. So,
yeah. I think it develops good discipline amongst the people in your organization for sure.
Yeah.
You're a little bit different than some that, you're at the peak, top. Are you top rank in the company? Or is there somebody, there's another rank?
Oh, many ranks above me.
Many ranks. Okay. But you're within the top
earners,
top 10 or something in earnings or something?
Oh, top 1 in earnings.
Oh, you're number 1. All right.
Maybe.
Number 1. So whatever.
Close.
You're in,
I'm big.
You're in the top 5.
Yes,
let's just say. And who knows, when people listen to this, it's going to be fluctuating around. It's not, and it's not a competition that way. What I'm trying to compliment you is there's some people that get to that status and feel like they've arrived and they stop learning. Yeah. And I've been around network marketing for 35 years, and there's some healthy ego and there's some unhealthy ego. The healthy ego says, you know what? I'm kind of a badass. I know what I'm doing, and I have belief in myself, and I have belief in other people, and I can influence other people in a positive way. And I'm going to go do that. I'm going to go contribute. I'm going to do these different things. The negative side is I've arrived. Don't talk to me. I'm cooler than you. I'm done learning. And what I've seen over and over and over in 35 years is people get to this place, they stop learning, and they start to slide. And there's always something to blame it on. You can blame it on the comp change or product change or something happened, or pandemic or post-pandemic or people hating on the company or whatever. You always something to blame. But the reality is they stop learning. And you put yourself in a high-level mastermind that we run. And
well, I was at that level. I
know.
stopped.
Yeah, see?
I've been 7-figure bling boss, $1 million earner every year since 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And it's doing pretty good.
Yeah.
I know that feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty hot, and I'm Mama Frank, and I'm pretty cool.
Right.
And
what made you say, you know what, I'm gonna go learn some new stuff?
Carla suggested that we go to GoPro. And we just watched it virtually, and that's when we signed up for the mastermind. And so after 3 or 4 years of $1 million earner,
Sure.
holy crap, did we learn a heck of a lot more after that.
Yeah.
And I love it. It just gives us excitement, and it's work, which you hope you're
Sure.
there, but
What's exciting about learning for me is, but in our profession, it's different than other professions. If you go to work for Microsoft and you learn some new thing at home, it's not going to change your job at the next day,
right.
tomorrow, really.
Yeah.
It might, if you learn that thing, it might 5 years from now, somebody might notice and it might make a difference. But here, inside of this, we get immediate feedback. So we learn a tactic, anytime you talk to somebody, give them an assignment on your team. Okay. I can do that today.
Yes.
I can do it tomorrow. And I get immediate feedback. Like,
Yes.
oh, that worked. What else can I do?
Yeah.
We need to tell more stories. Oh, okay. I'm going to start telling more stories today.
Yes.
So that immediate feedback loop, because in our ADD society of wanting to see results, I need likes, I need shares, I need comments on my posts or whatever. You get immediate feedback from within your organization, and you can affect your income really quickly, by taking those strategies one at a time. I get super excited about collecting ideas, little ideas that other people don't notice, but like, oh, if I drop that into my life or my business 5 years from now, I'm going to have a huge competitive advantage. Nobody else even knows that I'm going to do it. It's so cool. So I like collecting those, and there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds collected over the years of these little things that get woven into your life and make a huge difference. So that feedback loop, I think, is something that it rewards good behavior very fast.
So fast.
I remember the first time I heard, I was struggling to get people to make a decision to join after I presented my opportunity with them. And I heard Jim Rohn on an audio program say, I learned from my mentor, for things to change, I have to change.
Yeah.
And for things to get better, I have to get better. I'm like, oh man, that's really good. So the next day I'm talking with a prospect and they're like, oh, I'm not sure. And they start giving me objections. I said, can I tell you what I just learned yesterday from my mentor? He said, for things to change, you got to change. And for things to get better, you want to get better. Do you want any change in your life? You're looking for anything to get better? This should at least be one of your options. And they're saying, you know what? You're right. Where's the paperwork? And I'm like, oh my God, I would have lost that person. I've not been able to give them a chance to be able to start building an entrepreneurial business inside of my business. But that one little thing, and all of a sudden they said yes instead of saying no. Yeah. It's like, oh my gosh, I need to collect more of these things, So I became a reader, I became a listener, I became a watcher, I became an event attender, all that stuff just to collect as much as I possibly could.
You talked about event attenders. I believe, the connection is great, or is so important. But if you can get in person, just
face-to-face changes relationships.
Yes, so much.
Yeah.
with becoming the $1 million earner, I was able to make enough money. And do you know Utah Jazz?
Yeah.
You're familiar with Utah Jazz?
Sure.
Jerry Sloan, do you ever know him?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
I bought his house.
Nice.
He died a couple of years ago, and we bought his house. And it's a beautiful multi-million-dollar house that we bought on $5 jewelry.
Isn't that something?
And I'm telling you, it would not have happened had I not had that real estate crash.
Sure.
And it would
Or the dentist wife.
Yes.
Or any of these struggles. All of those struggles were happening for you.
And so we feel like, I totally feel like that this
Or
was,
even the cancer.
yes, all of it.
It was all a gift.
It was all such a gift. I'm so grateful for cancer.
So are you free, like fully in remission now and the whole thing, or what's happening?
No.
You're still
to come back.
So you're still in the battle. We're all in this life extension game, right? We're going to see how long we're going to live. We're going to see how well we're going to do it.
Yeah.
You know, but all of us are terminal.
We are.
You know, it's just, what are we going to do with it?
Well, you know, you can give up and die. Or I just am going to live to be 100. So I don't know about you,
Love
but
it. Yeah, for sure.
So
For sure. My anti-aging doc says, 120 is a possibility. Yeah. So like, I'm almost middle-aged.
Yeah.
So hey.
Well, I'm only 45. I don't know about you.
Yeah. I understand. I will tell you this. I'm really proud of you.
Thank you.
And I'm proud of what you've built. I'm proud of what you've done. I'm proud of your family. I'm proud of your story. I'm proud of your heart. I'm proud of the fact that you're continuing to learn. And I'll let you have the last word. What would you say to somebody out there who maybe is going through a struggle, maybe is questioning themselves, doubting themselves, in a situation like one of your situations, and wondering if they're even meant for this, if this is the right place for them? What word would you have for them?
Word
or message?
Well, my whole mantra is love your life. And I'm telling you, the best part about network marketing is you can love your life and be sick. You can love your life and have babies in the hospital, or lose your job, or do whatever. Because if you need an extra $100 to pay that electric bill, you can do it. You could do it. And the community, I feel like, is just, you can't find anywhere else. You talked about church or the old time.
Yeah. Communities.
It's so awesome there. And there's nothing like it. And I'm just so grateful to all the sweet people that I get to be around. And you're one of them. Thank you for teaching me so I can teach them, because we all know stuff. We just forget how to do it.
Yeah. That's a fact.
And thank you.
You're very welcome, Robin Frank. I'm grateful for you. Love you.
Thank you.
So that's our conversation with Robin Frank. I hope you got value from it as much as I did. If you know somebody who needs to hear this message, please share this conversation with them. And also subscribe if you got value. Let somebody else know. Help us spread the word. We want to help as many people in network marketing as humanly possible, or even in entrepreneurship as humanly possible, because the lessons are invaluable. Until next time, have an amazing day, and I'll see you soon.